So how do you go about deliberately summoning non-physical energy through the power of your focus? Well, you can get yourself in a bind. Don't you like that feeling of source pouring through you? And do you realize that you can conjure that? Not the best word. You can summon that. You can facilitate that. You can accomplish that in a couple of different ways. One way is you can get yourself in a jam. Esther always has said to us, I shine in a crisis. And we say that's because the crisis makes you focus. But you don't have to wait until there is a crisis before you focus. You have the ability to focus under the best of conditions. And we're going to call that getting out ahead of your creations. Most of you, we love you very much. You know what's coming next after that statement. We love you very much, but most of you are offering most of your vibration, meaning most of your focus, in response to what you're observing. And you're not that particular about what you're observing. You sort of let what's loud and close dominate. And so it's sort of a cycle where maybe you haven't been keeping track of what you're doing vibrationally, and maybe you haven't been offering your vibration or your attention or your focus. They're all the same thing deliberately. Maybe you've just been observing some of this and some of this and some of this and some of this and some of this. So you've got a sort of scattered vibration going on, which is affecting your point of attraction. We're going to talk a lot about your point of attraction here today, because it's your point of attraction and it's no one else can affect it. You are the one choosing it. But sometimes you choose it by default. Sometimes you choose what you are offering vibrationally because you're observing and you feel sort of, we love you very much, obligated to observe with really screwy criteria. Sometimes you give your attention to something because somebody close to you is giving their attention to it, and they don't want to leave you out of it, no matter how much it sucks. It's like putting something in your mouth that tastes awful and saying, ooh, taste this. You do that all the time too. This is the worst thing I've ever tasted. Taste this. So often you are wanting to share your experiences with others because you want very much, and this is a primary point of our discussion here today. If you want to go along with it, it will serve you very well. You want so much for those around you, in many cases all of them, and in many cases just those closest to you, to really get you, to understand exactly what you're feeling. So you work really hard to explain what's going on in your life. Oh, this happened. I need to bring you up to date with this. Come, let's sit. Let me tell you what's been happening. And then you work hard to explain your point of view, especially if your point of view opposes someone else's point of view. You work very hard to explain your point of view, not realizing that the whole time you're explaining your point of view, you are watering down your own personal intentions, because you are weighing the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses, and you're offering vibration about all of that. And we want you to know that you just would do really well for yourself if you would just pick something and focus on it. And that's really what we want to help you to at least decide that you want to accomplish in the hours that we are here together today. We want you to leave here with a more determined intention that you are going to be the controller of your own gaze, the controller of your own focus. Because when you discover that you can be the one who controls what you look at, what you talk about, what you think about, then you will discover that you can control your vibrational output. And that matters a lot, because your vibrational output is being responded to constantly by the powerful law of attraction. Law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn. So when you're offering a vibration, maybe you watched a television program, maybe your friend called you, maybe you observed something, maybe you dug something up in a past memory. It doesn't matter what is causing you to focus upon it, but when you focus upon it, you have an active vibration going on. And if you keep it up, that active vibration will become stronger and stronger and stronger. Law of attraction says it must be that way. So as that vibration gets stronger and your point of attraction gets stronger, then it's easier for you to keep focusing upon it. Or if it's something you don't want, it would be right to say it's harder for you not to focus upon it. Your point of attraction gets a lot of momentum going. So when we say you want to get out ahead of what is and out ahead of manifestation, what we mean is you want to find a nice neutral zone. Meditation will provide it for you, or taking a walk sometimes, beautiful music, making love, doing something that distracts you from things that may have been bothering you. And as you bring yourself into vibrational alignment, by your distracting yourself from things that take you out of vibrational alignment, then what happens is you begin to allow this momentum of vibration, and it will precede you, because everything that you live is preceded by a vibrational wave. It's a current. It's a flow. It can be a blast. In other words, when you get that vibration out ahead of you, it's like having the concierge of all concierges out there ahead of you, the personal assistant of all personal assistants out there ahead of you, paving your way, making the roads ready for you. And most important, not only is preparation for where you're going all smoothed out, we're not kidding you about that, not even one little bit, but the most important factor is you're tuned into the frequency that makes you know how to follow the path. Because there are endless paths. There are lots of ways to get to where you want to be. And sometimes you want to take the longer, more adventurous route because you're still wanting to collect more data. You're still wanting to be clearer about what it is you want. But we want you to leave here today with no question in your mind that you create your own reality. Seth said it first. You create your own reality. And Jerry said, how is that so? I like to believe that I create my own reality and that they do and that they do. But how is it that we create our own reality when we're all mixed up with one another? How do I create my own reality? He asked it again and again and again, and we've been answering it ever since his first query back there in 1985. You create your own reality because you think and you focus and you vibrate, and law of attraction responds to the vibration, and that is the reality that surrounds you. So the good news is, and we love you very much, that you're offering signals about wanted and unwanted, wanted and unwanted, wanted and unwanted, but mostly you have a reasonable expectation of well-being in your experience. But you could do so much better. You have the power to control your thoughts so much more. But when you try to control your thoughts just because you need to, it doesn't work. When things aren't going well and you say, I got to get a grip, you're not going to get a grip on what you want. You're just intensifying the grip on what you don't want. You can't get there from there. You can't take a severely out of whack vibration. You can't be standing in the middle of a problem and find the vibration of the solution, because the frequencies are very, very different. So if you could understand that the creative process, and we're talking about the deliberate creative process, but it's the creative process. When you have a vibration that you're offering, when you're sifting and you know what you don't want, which causes you to know what you do want, you launch this vibrational rocket of desire that the larger part of you follows and becomes. Now, you first have to accept that you are more than you see here in this physical body, do you? Many are coming to understand that. It's hard not to. You just can't look around this world over which you have no control in terms of it spinning in its orbit and the sun coming up every morning. You have to accept that there's something more going on. This is not a random accident going on here. This is powerful creation of which you are a leading edge part. You've been part of the creation of all that you see here from the beginning of that which was the beginning of that which was the beginning of that which. And there's no point in us trying to get back to the beginning of that because we've all come so far forward. But we do want you to understand that you are leading edge creators in these physical bodies, and that you come from source, and that you are an extension of source, but not a disconnected extension of source. You weren't just set loose. Good luck. Have fun and be good. There wasn't any of that. It was, you go forth and you stir it up and you find new things to want and we'll back you up. And when you find things big or small, when you find things that you really want or things that you want just a little bit, when you find something that you want, we, non-physical energy, the source within you, that which man calls God, we like to call it your inner being or all that is, all of us guys here in non-physical who are aware of you, and there are more of us here aware of you than there are you there aware of us. Well, we could say that better because most of you aren't aware of us in the way that we would like you to be. But there are way more of us. There are way, way, way more of us. And we are focused upon your rockets of desire. We don't pay attention, and it's good for you. We don't spend any time with you justifying why you should have what you want, because we know that if your time, space, or reality has created a desire within you, that it is your right to receive in full fruition the creation, the manifestation, the actualization, the realization of that desire. So when you launch those rockets, often you're oblivious to the fact that you've launched the rocket. You gave birth to it during a fit of knowing what you don't want. Don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I've never had enough money. I hardly know anybody who has enough money. Rocket, 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 rocket. You are creating a vibrational version of everything that you want. And we know that's annoying because you want the money in the bank. But the vibrational version must come first in everything. So when you create this vibrational version of all of these things and experiences that you want, we join that vibrational version of your desire. We join that vibrational version of you. And we hold steady to that vibrational version, which is the reason that when you're not focused upon what you want, but instead are focused upon its absence and therefore justifying what you want by beating the drum of its absence, the reason that that feels like disappointment or fear or worry is because your frequency is so far off from what's in your vortex and all of us who are working with you and tending it. If you can just get that one little piece, if you can just understand that when you focus on anything and feel anything less than eagerness, satisfaction, love, when you feel less than passion, when you feel less than that feeling of well-being, when you feel something that's on that negative end of the emotional scale that feels like worry or jealousy or anger, when you feel depressed or fearful, when you feel those negative emotions, it always means you're focused in opposition, not to us. We don't get to choose what you want. Not to God. God is not choosing for you what you want. When you feel negative emotion, you are in opposition to your own created version of you see. And you can't get there under those conditions. So you've got to do something to soften the vibrational frequency, which just simply means it's annoying for you to hear it because you can't do it, but we're going to tell you anyway. But this, you can't do it. You just have to stop thinking about that thing you're thinking about that is keeping you from what you want. But the reason you can't do it is because when you're thinking about that thing that you're thinking about that's keeping you from what you want, law of attraction is helping you to keep thinking about it because you've got an active vibration going on. And law of attraction says, you don't like that. How about this? You're not going to like it either, but here you go. Here you go. You say, just like my mother. Law of attraction is not punishing you. Law of attraction is supporting you with the evidence of your vibrational frequency. So that's why we say it's really helpful for you to find some neutral zone. If you can do something to distract yourself from whatever it is that has that unwanted active vibration. We don't want to get too carried away with that. We think you have the understanding of that. But let's begin with this simple premise. The frequency, the vibrational frequency of a question is different than the frequency of the answer. The frequency of the problem is different than the frequency of the solution. So, of course, you're going to uncover problems and questions. That's the whole point of sifting through contrast. It's necessary for expansion. But what we would like to encourage you to do is not get so carried away in your justification of the reason for the solution. You just don't have to explain it to anybody. Knowing that you want it is enough. If this time-space reality has the wherewithal to produce within you clarity of desire, it is our absolute promise to you that it has the wherewithal to give you the actualization of that desire. No exceptions ever. No exceptions ever. If you can want it, you can have it. But You've got to achieve the frequency of what you want. You can't be sad about not having enough money and let the money flow because you're blocking it.